Guys, how are you? We're back in the saddle on a Monday as I shoot this video, and I've been thinking a lot about the Sephora sale and how, I really only have, as I've said, a few things that would qualify as daily use products from Sephora, actually, like absolute constants in my makeup routine. There are a lot of things that I can enjoy. I can enjoy a palette here or there, this certain foundation, that blush, whatever, but those are more occasional products. That's my takeaway on the sale. But why am I able to feel that way? Well, because there are plenty of drugstore products that I feel are enough. You know what I mean? Like, they are so satisfying, they're so good, they just perform in such an excellent way that they don't leave me hungering for, oh my gosh, I really need a high-end foundation to be happy, or I really need a high-end blush to have pigment, or a high-end eyeshadow palette for anything that shows on my eyes. Like, that is not the way it is. And we're at that time of year where we're all inundated by these huge lists of Sephora recommendations, and I just kind of want to put that reminder out there. As one who has tried tons of makeup, both high-end and drugstore, there's a lot of drugstore makeup where I feel like, yeah, this is enough. And in this video, I'm going to do a full face, but it's just going to be some examples because I could go on and on. I could do a week's worth of full faces of drugstore makeup that I feel is enough, So yeah, let's get started. I've got all my skincare on. I'm going to start out with primer, and this is the Rimmel Multitasker Primer that I've been using for quite some time. I actually feel like this is paired so well with a variety of different foundations, drugstore and high-end. It says all day grip and breathable with vitamin C, and it's been really, really good. They talk about it being a gripping primer. It comes out absolutely clear, but it does not feel really sticky in my hands at all. It feels like I'm putting on sort of a moisturizing gel. As you get it fully blended into your skin, that's when you can start to feel like, okay, there might be a little richness here, a little thickness, but it's never a challenge to blend. You feel like you're giving your skin an extra little drink of moisture, but then it's got that ability to make me feel like, yeah, any foundation I put on top of this, A, looks good, and B, wears well. So yeah, I'm a fan. I've enjoyed the Rimmel Multitasker a lot. And then here's a foundation that you can't tell me this stuff is not totally where it's at. The Catrice True Skin. This is their 24-hour hydrating foundation. Now, another really good one, I can go just back and forth with either of these, would be the HD Liquid Coverage. That would be not quite as hydrating, but still like gorgeous look on the skin. I could go either way, but today we're using True Skin. Once you see this going on my skin, you're gonna be like, yeah, how does this leave you craving something that's 3 times the price? Everything Catrice is $10 or less, by the way, which we love. Spreading it around, there's a little extra ooze from the pump that always gives me a bit more than I need. And then for blending, I'm going to use this e.l.f. Buffing Foundation brush. It's a little bit larger than my Profusion one. It works really well. Look at this coverage. Look at that look on top of the skin. I mean, when I say advanced formula, like we're talking a foundation that can cover, but keep looking like skin, this would have to be right up there with House Labs for me, if not even better coverage. Gosh, so much has happened over the weekend. We had that 3-day weekend and Halloween. Halloween was super fun. Everybody's costumes were great. I bought the $7.99 adult leopard from Walmart. It was just like, it came with a tail. I didn't have any way to attach the tail but ears and a little bow tie. And I did some fun leopard makeup I thought turned out really cool. But no, the kids had a great time, brought home tons of candy. The day before that, Rhett brought home a blue ribbon from school for good behavior. I thought that was really cool. I was not expecting that. I know I talked about conferences in the last video, had a terrific conference. I'm just so proud of like the growth and I guess comfort in his new environment, his kindergarten home now that he's been showing. But look at this foundation. Look how it really is looking like the surface of actual skin while covering beautifully. Dynamite. Love. I'm gonna stay on Catrice for the concealer too. This is the True Skin Concealer in Cool Cashmere. This says high cover concealer, waterproof with hyaluronic acid. This would be like, if you're thinking about like e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, but you feel like your skin needs a thinner texture, if the e.l.f. just feels a little too heavy for you, you might enjoy this. Like, this is thinner, but yet still absolutely beautiful coverage. We're gonna really look at what this does. I've done little swipes. Again, it feels super thin and liquidy, but we're just blending those swipes first to make them take up more room. Is it a little less coverage than e.l.f.? I would have to say yeah, a little bit, but it looks so good and so finished, and it pairs so beautifully with this foundation. So you just have to see at the end, like, what you think. Here I'm just blending it around. I'm handling those innermost corners that are kind of tricky to blend. And then I can take that e.l.f. brush that I use for foundation and just dab over. This does not leave me craving one more thing. Like, this duo is so good. I feel brightened up on the under eye. I don't feel like I'm too heavy and thick there. And to think you could pick both of these up for considerably less than one high-end foundation, like, I'm in awe. I'm in awe, and it's feeling more than enough. Next, I'm gonna pick one of several loose powders that I could have pulled into this video. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in Fair. There are many other good options too. And if we're talking Catrice and you're like, well, why didn't you stay with Catrice? I'm not wild about the Catrice loose powder. I have tried their new ones that were actually sent out in a recent PR package. Wow, I got a lot on that eye. It's okay. Excess will dust away. They're just not my fave. I've actually been playing with a couple of them as even an all over face setting powder, which I kind of prefer over just under eye and T-zone with those. But here's this Maybelline Fit Me. She's all over the T-zone, and then dust away excess. We call this microwaving. We don't need to leave it there for a real long time, but we just get it on and let it go. What hangs around was meant to be. But seriously, that is the most brightening powder. Adds little sneaky coverage, doesn't look like too much, doesn't dry me out. I'm throwing my brush around here. Always a Maybelline Fit Me fan. And then I pulled in one other powder just for a little light all over setting. I'm using my Rimmel Stay Matte today. Now, Rimmel Stay Matte, no, it does not look fancy at all. It is not gonna look as fancy as anything you get from Sephora, but does she work? Yes. Would anybody know where your powder came from? No. Let's just be real. Okay, so I'm going into my creamy natural shade of this, and I'm just very lightly putting it everywhere else on my face. I can also set my under eye with this too, but I just really wanted to give Maybelline Fit Me a shout out. But look, we kind of evened out the texture. The True Skin will leave you a little bit tacky feeling, so this helps. And then we're moving into contour, where I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I could name here. We could do powder, we could do cream, we could do stick. I love that Rimmel Multitasker contour bronzer stick. But then I also, I love this e.l.f. one too. And this is so the definition of like, why would you need anything more or anything different? This is the light medium shade of their bronzer and contour. And I remember, I think I got this on my birthday last year. I'm just gonna give myself some little dots. It doesn't take much, and it really truly gives you all the color you need and more. And I would like to say thank you guys so much for watching both my long videos and my short videos. I have been asked if I'm trying to like transition into only shorter content, and I'm absolutely not. I'm still gonna do my long videos. That's what I really, really love most. But I thank you for watching and engaging with all of it. I just feel like I kind of need to be in both places, if you know what I mean. Every day I feel like I get a comment on something short that I do that says, I haven't seen you in forever. And sometimes that hurts, because it's like, I haven't taken my foot off the gas one bit, but I do understand that like you can kind of get buried in all the other new content, popular content, and also people's preferences just change for like the kinds of things they want to see, and you're more likely to just be something they happen to scroll by on TikTok or Shorts rather than beauty info that they're seeking out, you know what I mean? On purpose. I wish they would seek it out on purpose, but I get it, But it is fun, and I've been trying to really do my shorter stuff with the mentality of don't overthink it. Like when an idea pops into your head, just run with it. It's more about posting and being consistent rather than feeling like everything's a masterpiece. I've really come to terms with that idea, and it's been good for me. Look at this. Did you see how easily I blended that? Pigmented dots giving me everything I need. How could that product leave you thinking, I really need this from a high-end brand? And then for blush, I pulled out a newer fave. I'm loving these Catrice Soft Glam Baked Blushes. If you're placing that order for the True Skin, these are new. These are a baked blush. They make you think of like the glowy blushes from Rare Beauty. That's the vibe I get. The shade called Midnight Berry. They've got 4. Okay, so like there's a soft pink, a soft peach, a deeper, more rich coral, and this one, Midnight Berry. I don't hold it up and think, wow, bold, dark berry, but it's a richer pink than the lighter one, and it has kind of like a gentle golden shift, and it's so good going on, so satisfying. Let me show you, like your brush goes in, immediate pickup, and just watch this apply and give you that kind of highlighter optional skin, really. It's not too glowy, it's just enough Do you see? I love it. I might build a little bit, but I really like all the shades. All of the shades have satisfied me and looked good. I would say maybe the richer coral and this one. So like the two little bit slightly deeper options in this line are my faves, just because I like a little more color to it. But if you want a really absolutely gorgeous texture on a blush, powder blush, and it just kind of moves with you. Like you move and that sheen just shifts. It's so good. Who needs to spend more? And for a highlighter, I'm having kind of a rediscovered moment with this classic. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlight. I hope when I look this up, I find that they're still making this, because this has been around for a long time. This is called Be My Highlight. That's the shade. And it's super subtle and soft. It does look baked, actually. Really good stuff. This is like the fusion. If Laura Geller took her baked French vanilla and mixed it a little bit with one of her more glowy highlighters, like you would get this beautiful, undetectable softness. See that? See where I'm going with that? Oh, it's so nice. I hadn't used this in a while. I had forgotten that it's pretty much exactly the kind of highlighter I want. And for just, you know, a few bucks, of course. Why not? The skin, you guys, the skin. And then everybody like, oh, but you need the one size setting spray. You need the one size. I'm sorry. I know L'Oreal was copycatting and stuff, but it is what it is. This works. This infallible 3-second setting mist absolutely does truly work. Some people might want to use this every single day. Some people might say, I'm only going to use it on the times where the staying power absolutely matters the most, but she works. Okay, so I'm going to use this today. Smells like hairspray, freezes your brows in place. I always forget to do it after my brows. You can 100% count on that setting spray. Speaking of brows, nothing new to people who have been regular watchers, but this is my Clean Fresh Nano Pencil from CoverGirl that I recently repurchased, and that's going in my brows. And I'm not totally sure like what all high-end brands are doing a pencil that's as skinny as this, because this is skinnier than Brow Wiz. And Morphe's got one, but I'm not positive of what other high-end brands are doing this, but this is like totally great, and it's coming in at around $8 at Walmart now. It had been at around 10, and I think it's more pricey at Ulta. But for me, as someone who's got some eyebrow there, I always say this, but it cuts through the brow and gets right to your skin, right in the places you need it, and you don't feel like you're just, you know, pointlessly raking over hair, but you're actually getting right down to the spots that need to fill in. It ends up feeling like a much quicker process to me, because I really am just targeting the places where the product is needed the most. And then, you know, you get into these little inner parts. It's looking super hair-like. The shade I repurchased this in was medium brown. I guess I can do either medium or dark, but the original one I had was definitely dark. Hi, Bisky. Bisky's like, I'm glad I wasn't in there for the setting spray step. And once you feel like you're all done with the fill-in, you've got that little spoolie, rake it on through. Here's a drugstore price range. I would say Morphe, I put them in the drugstore category. I know you're not gonna run into them in like CVS and Walgreens, but at Ulta, you know, they're coming in as a less expensive option, and I've been absolutely loving this for a clear gel. Their Micromanager Gripping Brow Gel. Talk about a little fine brush that can get right in there with your brow hair and not overgoop you and really give you hold for the long haul through the entire day. I love it. If we're talking tinted brow gels, of course for me it's Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt, aka Express Brow. But I love this for clear. I love how they designed it, and I like the actual formula. Next up for the eye primer, she needs no introduction. I mean, do you want to spend high-end money on an eye primer? This one, I mean, I cheated on her for a while, and I got into the Wet n Wild Mega Last, which was very good. A little less expensive, a little harder for me to come by in stores. And also, partway through my experience with that, I felt like I was getting creasing again, and I think it was just something off with the mixture in the tube, you know, something settled a little bit perhaps. Maybe I'd squeezed so much out to the point that there was something left in there, but it wasn't the ideal mix. That's what I think happened. But anyway, I use a very small amount of Milani eyeshadow primer. I do not go through a tube super quickly, but that being said, I have gone through quite a few tubes in my whole makeup using time, you know. Here's one that hurts the most. Here's one where I feel like people are so misguided when they say First off, they'll declare that they've tried everything, which they haven't. And then they'll say, you just can't find good eyeshadow in the drugstore. Are you kidding me? You can find more good eyeshadow in the drugstore than you can in high-end these days. Like, I mean, there's more options. Do not even attempt to pull the wool over people's eyes on this. There are so many good drugstore eyeshadows. Look to e.l.f., look to Wet n Wild, look to Profusion, Hard Candy. Catrice. We're going to use a little Catrice palette today because I feel like the palettes that they've made in this shape and size are your absolute everyday best friend. Pure Nude, this could be anyone's everyday natural easy look. They've got deeper browns, that's your dark cocoa. They've got more warmth, that's the hot maca. They've got a little bit of greenish color, that's the cozy earth. They've got the rose one. This is an everyday basic. Every single shade is 100% consistent. The shimmers are not a wild flaky mess. They're just classic shimmers. The mattes are here, 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 and here. This one can kind of act like a deepening shade as well with not too much shimmer. They could 100% pass for a high-end formula. I don't think it showed on camera, but I went into that like wide color there. And I'm just gonna get some natural color going. I'm not gonna go for anything super bold today. I want this to feel like a look that could work for any occasion, anywhere, anytime, okay? Right there in the crease. It's soft, but like it's perfect for this step. Back, forth, you just need a crease brush. Brushes, there's a whole other conversation. Do I need to buy high-end brushes? No, I've got some high-end brushes that I use and reach for because it's handy or whatever, but I can totally do my whole face on drugstore brushes and be thrilled with it. Okay, there's that soft little crease. Maybe we say, okay, let's blend the border of that a little bit with this light color. Just go up above what you just did. Work it up toward the brow. Little brightness, little smoothness. Maybe you're like, oh, and I do want a little glow under the brow. Let's go to that shimmer right at the end. I haven't switched my brush. A little shimmer doesn't hurt up there, you know? Okay. You know I'm going to show you what one of these deeper shades looks like, right? I'm going in with the Morphe M303. Just a little on the outside. This is just a little patting motion. The shade is not overwhelming, but it's absolutely what you see is what you get. Not a struggle. Patting on the outer part of that lid. Number one, it's great quality, but number two, it isn't hard, okay? This is really, really easy stuff here. If you say, fine, but I want that like a little more lifted, a little more blended, take your Profusion small pointed brush, same color, and I could say, okay, I really want to blend out the crease with just a tidbit more product. I want to be able to see a little lift. Look at that. I mean, guys, this couldn't be easier. I'm just bringing in that crease brush and I'm just going back and forth over it. And we are like fully blended here, okay? And then we decide, what do we want on the lid? Do we want to stay matte? Want to pop in a little shimmer? I could take a little bit of this shade here. This is pretty. It makes me think rose gold a little bit, but in a really neutral sense. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't get too brassy. Slay. Complete and total slay. And then we could go to like this little bit lighter of the two matte browns and just say, okay, smudgy lower liner. Let's go. Also, don't get me started on shadow sticks, but you don't need to shell out big money for a shadow stick. Look to L'Oreal, look to Hard Candy, look to Laura Geller when she's having a big deal and giving you like 7 sticks for a really reasonable price. Everyday friendly, naturally contoured, easy eye. I'm not feeling like doing a dark liner today, but this Milani Stay Put Tank liner, I would put this up against anything of any price. This is always the last man standing when I'm taking my makeup off. It's the eyeliner. Like, it will not move on you. It is waterproof. 100% love it. You do not need to buy a high-end eyeliner. And I talked about shadow sticks. I'm feeling just a little bit softer look, like Les Shadow Stick, Brown Abyss, my BFF. A really deep kind of neutral brown. You noticed our look is kind of cool today, and this is not going to be like bringing weird warmth to our lash line, but this is what I call lazy liner. You know, this is your Monday morning. I'm in a hurry, but I want a little definition at the lash line. It transfers down onto the skin so easily, and it's cooling. Love. On my lashes, I'm just choosing one that I like. I have quite a few different drugstore mascaras that could qualify for this video, but I'm going to use my Catrice Pure False Lash Beyond Black mascara. Really good, just thickening, lengthening option. Also love Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect right now. Rimmel Volume on Demand I've been using a lot lately. Of course, e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes for a tubing mascara that's not going to go anywhere. We're sacrificing nothing. This is so quick to start giving a result. I love it. And if you feel like you're not getting enough out of your mascara, I highly recommend putting a mirror right under your nose and looking down into that mirror so you can see your whole lash from where it hooks into your lash line all the way to the tip. If you're coming straight at a mirror, you're not gonna get the application you want, I don't think. Okay, I'm just gonna build this up a little bit. Catrice is really that brand, you know, the brand that gives the high-end vibe with so many products. Like, check that out. That's 2 quick coats. 1 coat on left eye. I'm going to keep building and I'll be back. Part of why this one works well for me is how the brush really does come out with some product on it. It's not like too goopy, but it lays it down quicker, and I need a quicker process through my lashes, not something that's going to be rake a million times. And then, like I said, lash extender, you guys see me use this all the time, but that's because I completely trust it on the lower lashes. It's tubing, it won't smudge. You can put it on your upper lashes too. I just kind of like to switch that up a bit more, and I feel like this is the perfect one for lower lashes. I had been using Cali Ray a lot, and that's a Sephora purchase. And that one works well, but it almost gave me more on the lower lashes than I needed, if you know what I mean. I actually have rather long lower lashes, and if they get too lengthened out or too bulked up, like they come down and they touch the area under my eye. Not that that's a problem for long haul wear. Like, you could put a tubing mascara on and let it fully dry and it touches that area and it's not going to smudge. But my problem was like in the application. It would sometimes be, depending on the age of the mascara, a little more than I needed. And the e.l.f. has just been so perfect. Now for my lips. I'm going to do a little 3-part lip combo here. We're going to use a stain. Benefit, I thank you for being the pioneer that came out with Benetint and these other wonderful tones that really stain your lips. But now e.l.f. has just kind of like captured that flag, and the Sheer For It blush tints are awesome. I love this one called Plums Up. I love the way they've chosen to package them. Doe foot applicator and then like a little funnel inserted there. So this pure liquid stain finds itself right back into the tube. I'm just going to put this on my lips all over. I love the boldness in this shade, but yet it is just a sheer stain. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And the way it has great staying power all day, I love it. I feel like my lip line is really pretty precise right out to the edge, but I'll mention a lip liner here, the Catrice Plumping Lip Liners. They're not really plumping, but they're extremely long wearing. And I love this one called Cheers to Life. It's a great mauve. Also absolutely love Revlon Color Stay lip liners, Rimmel Lasting Finish lip liners. Milani's new plumping lip liners are actually very long wear too. But now that my little stain has had a chance to set, I'm going to go over it with a gloss. This is the new e.l.f. Glow Reviver Plumping Lip Oils. These are so good. This is Burst Bubble. There's no shimmer in this, but it's pinky. And I thought it might be pretty going over top. And you'll see, like, the stain really has set. It's not coming off on this applicator. You see how it's like a bubblegummy pink, but it's sheer. Ooh, I like the way those two came together. Yes. These really tingle, not in a hot, really uncomfortable way, but you can really feel these from e.l.f. It's more like a really strong cooling way. But I'm just looking at all these products that I've created this look with. I'm so satisfied. I love what I've used. I adore the way my skin is looking right now. That soft blush paired with the little highlight. Just your little reminder that Drugstore still slays. Top things, like top really special, like, I get it. There was a lot of Catrice in this video because Catrice is really way up here for me on a lot of things. That foundation and concealer combo is amazing, but I also love throwing in that Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder with it. These little eye palettes are so good. e.l.f. has come out with a lot of great products for lips. I mean, I could write a whole book on good drugstore lip products, don't get me going. But those stains are so much fun to play with because they give you that base color and then you can be like, what little direction do I want to shift this in with a gloss on top that's either super sheer and clear, or do you want something with a little shimmer? Like, how do you want to alter that look? It's so much fun. So anyway, let me know in the comments section what products you feel this way about. And on the other hand, maybe what products you feel it's super important for you to get from a high-end brand. I'm curious to know that too. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. I love you. Bye.